All right. Happy Friday. Alrighty. So if you like, first thing we're going to start with is a little bit of just start by stepping your feet. Just let's get those feet moving. But if you want, grab your theraband. It's not a major move, but it's going to be, just a little bit of movement in the shoulders like we're rowing a kayak. So take a couple more steps here. And then if you've got your theraband, you're just going to hold a nice wide distance, and we're going to start to row our kayak. And we're going to pick up an opposite knee and then row into that knee. So we're working a little bit of balance, getting a little bit of work out of the hip and a little bit of movement out of the shoulders. And it doesn't have to be a big, strong movement. You can even keep it light to start. But then once you feel like your shoulders are a little bit warmed up, bigger arms, and then pick the knee up a little higher once you feel like you found your balance. Nice. You're already halfway there. Now, if you want a little bit more challenge for your balance, when you pick up that knee, pause, and then row back into it. So find a little balance and hold, and then row into it. Nice. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your theraband down. If you're using it, we're going to take a fairly wide stance. So think about just a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. And we're going to reach across. So we're bringing some movement into the spine, a little stretch through the side body, and just a little step out. So we shift our weight. So we're just moving that weight from side to side and taking some nice big reaches. And then once you feel like you've got that down, you're going to make a grab with that top hand as you reach. So you're bringing a little bit of movement and dexterity into the fingers, stretching the side body, moving out of the shoulders, and waking those feet up. Now you've got the hands going, that back foot that extends. Can you point the toe as you reach and grab so that we bring movement down into the ankle and bring a little warmth down to the toes? Nice. 20 seconds left. All right, now we're going to start to step the feet out a little bit wider. So think about reaching and stepping a little bit further out. Nicely done. Okay, step your feet super wide now. So you're going to find a nice wide, comfortable distance. And we're going to start with a gentle rock side to side. Notice how your knees are feeling, bringing a little bit of movement into the ankles. And then once you feel like this is kind of warmed up, you're going to start to touch either to the inside of the foot or to the knee. So you're going to go to the reach that feels good to you right now. Nice, you guys. That looks awesome. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Walk those feet in, give them a little shake out. Grab a heavy set of weights. All right. First things first, we're going to take it into a deadlift. So we're going to step our feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. Knees and toes are going to be pointing forward. We're going to keep a nice gentle bend in the knees. We hinge from the waist. We're going to let those weights hang out in front of us. Come up, pull them up to the chest, and lower them down. So we hinge, bend forward. Doesn't matter if your weights touch the ground. Pull them up to the chest. Nice. And now if those heavier weights feel like too much on the shoulders, switch to a lighter weight, but preferably you can keep that heavy weight so you really feel that deadlift in the back side of the body. So we want to use the hamstrings and use your glutes to help come up. Think about a little squeeze or a thrust forward of the hips as you come up, and then pull it up to the chin. Nice. If your weights are heavy, 10 pounds and over, slow it down just a little bit so that you can really pay attention to the movement in your shoulders. And so you're not yanking too much against the hamstrings. You're using strength rather than stretch. Nice. You guys look amazing. And time. Awesome. Set your weights off to the side, just a little out of your way. Next up, we're taking it into an air squat. So we're just going to squat down, rise up, kick one leg, reach across, kick the other leg, reach across, back to that squat. So we're setting our butt down and back. We kick, and we lower the butt back down. So different maneuver than our deadlift. We keep the chest and chin lifted. We set the butt down and back, and we try to keep the thighs parallel to the floor as we lower down. Nice, you guys. Five seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. Back to those heavy weights. We're sticking with that deadlift maneuver, but this time we're going to add on with a bicep curl. So weights in front of you, palms facing into your thighs, a slight bend in the knees. We hinge from the waist, nice long back, come up, rotate the palms, and bicep curl. Hinge from the waist, lower down, lift up with the backs of your legs, rotate the palms, and bicep curl. You got it. Take it at your pace. If the heavy weights are too much, switch out to a lighter weight. Or if you really feel like you need more work in the legs and the back side of the body, maybe you just leave off the bicep curl if the weight is just too much for the arms. Awesome, Ting. That looks awesome. Yes, Helen, that's perfect. And time. Awesome job. Okay, set the heavy weights off to the side. If you want to use weights, use a light set of weights or no weights at all. So we're going to find a nice wide stance. We're going to take our thumbs or the weights, just going to kind of hold them right at the chest. You're going to sink your butt way down, reach one hand to the ground, bring it up, reach the other hand to the ground, bring it up, and rise back up. So it's a nice wide squat, lower down, touch the other side, and then rise back up. So we're going to think about creating a space for our butt to just drop down, reach, it's a light side bend, reach, light side bend, and then rise right back up. Amazing. You guys look awesome. 5 seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to switch to a lighter set of weights. We're going to stay with that deadlift for one more round, but this time we're adding a chicken wing. So feet about hip width distance, palms facing the thighs, a light bend in the knees. We hinge from the waist, lean forward, come up. We're going to bend the elbows and lift the elbows out to the side. Lower the arms, hinge from your waist, come up, bend the elbows, and lift the elbows up. Nice controlled motion out of the shoulders. Light weights in case your shoulders are a little bit mischievous. We hinge from the waist, long back to come up, squeeze those glutes, bend the elbows, lift them out to the side. Nice, that looks awesome. You're already halfway there. And time. Awesome job. Okay, we're going to stick with those light weights. We're going to take it into a bent over position. So knees are going to bend a little bit, hinge from the waist, nice long back. We're going to keep the belly slightly firm to help support the low back. We're going to take it into a reverse fly and then draw the pinkies towards your side, pull them back out to a T, lower them down with control. We got 1 minute on the clock. You open up nice and wide, pull the pinkies back to your hips, pull them out wide, and lower with control. Nice. Lift, squeeze back, open wide, lower with control. You got it. Nice, Karen. That looks awesome. So I lift my head and I look up so I can see you guys on the screen. But if you can, keep your head in line with your spine. So your gaze will be slightly down at the floor. It'll feel more comfortable to your head and your neck. And keep that long line of energy from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. You got 10 seconds left here. You got this. And time. Rise up. Give your hips a little shake. Make sure everything feels loosey-goosey. Now, you're either going to stick with these two light weights or switch over to one heavy weight. We're going to take it into a reverse lunge. So step that right leg back. We're going to keep this position nice and strong at the feet and legs. Reach to your hip and hay baler. We throw it over the other shoulder. Reach to the hip and throw it over the shoulder. 30 seconds on this side. If holding that higher lunge feels like it's too much, always an option to bring the knee down to the ground. Offers you a little bit more support, but stick with that hay baler. We bring the bale of hay to the hip and toss it over the shoulder. Nice. 10 seconds left on this side. All right, switch feet. So other foot's gonna step back. And now we're reaching towards that other hip and throwing it over the other shoulder. You got it. And time. Nicely done. Step that leg in, shake your legs off, and just move your weights a little off to the side so it's a little off your mat. And then you're gonna grab your theraband. I'm gonna step off camera for a second. All right, grab your theraband. Excuse me. We're gonna take that theraband and tie it around our thighs. So you're going to get nice and high up in your thighs, really to the nice thick portion of your thighs. Step your feet together. You want to keep it nice and firm. Wrap the theraband around, tie one little knot, and then tie a second little knot to keep it secure. Great. And then once you've got it, should feel fairly comfortable. And we want it to a point where it's not just going to slip off your legs. Once you feel like you've got that worked out, we're coming down onto all fours. If those little tails get in the way, you can just tuck them in so they're not dangling all over the place. All right, so we're taking it into a plank with a row or a shoulder tap. So if you want, grab your weights back into the picture. You can use your weights for your hand hold. That might feel good to your wrists. So we're going to step back to a plank. We're going to give a row, step the knees into tabletop, give a row, and a row. So we step the feet back into plank, pull up one arm, pull up the other, step the feet in, pull up one arm, and then the other. Nice. Now, if you don't want to use weights for this, just leave them off. It can easily be a shoulder tap, or if it feels like on your level, to just take it back to plank, step it in, and then do the shoulder tap there. So you're going to find the work that feels most appropriate for you right now. When you come in for that tabletop position and you take your row or your shoulder tap, how stable can you keep that tabletop so nothing else moves but the shoulder? Can you keep your belly engaged? Can you keep your hips steady? "14 seconds left. You got this." Nice, Mara. Awesome job. Yes, Helen, that's awesome. Wonderful. And time. You guys are amazing. Okay, we're going to keep the theraband wrapped around the thighs. We're going to roll over onto one side. We're taking it right into clams. So a bent knee position, elbow and forearm down, or a higher leaning position, whatever feels good to you there. We're going to keep the soles of the feet together. We're going to keep that theraband around the thighs. Lift the knee up, lower the knee with control. We got 30 seconds of work here, just like this. Lifting the knee up, lowering with control. Keep a slight firmness in the belly so there's not a lot of wiggling and wobbling going on the top half of your body. Ten more seconds of work here. All right, now we're going to keep this bent knee position, but we're going to lift the whole top leg up. So the heel is going to lift away from the heel. We're going to keep that lifted position, press your heel out, bend, bring it back in, lower the leg with control. 30 seconds here. So we lift up, press out, pull back in, and lower down. So hopefully you're finding some work in the side of your glutes, in the side of your bum, lifting up, pressing out, pull it in, and lower with control. 12 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. We're going to keep that theraband on. And we're just going to flip on over to the other side. So come over onto your other side any way that you like. Knees are going to be bent. Feet are going to stay together. We're going to keep a nice stable upper part of the body. And we're just going to pick that top knee up, keep the soles of the feet together, and lower it back down. 30 seconds of work here. Nice controlled movement, and hopefully that theraband is giving you a little bit of feedback. So we don't want to snap that knee down. We want to lower it with as much control as we lifted it up. Awesome. 10 more seconds. And time. Nice work. Okay, now we're going to lift that leg up, press the heel out, pull it back in, lower it with control. 30 seconds of work here. Nice stability in the upper half of the body. We're moving out of the hip, letting the glutes do the work. Beautiful. And time. Nice job. Okay, we're going to keep that TheraBand as long as we can. We're going to flip over onto the back side, one heavy weight or two light weights. It's going to be totally up to you, but we're taking it into dead bug bicycles. So the weights are just going to be held straight out at the chest and they're not going to move. So whatever weight you think will help sustain here, we're going to pull those knees up into a tabletop position. And then we're going to start a little bicycling maneuver, pressing one leg out and then the other, keeping the arms nice and stable so there's no movement coming from the top half of the body, and keeping that TheraBand on so it can just give you a little bit of feedback so you're not snapping the leg in. It moves out and pulls in with equal control. If you like working with the breath here, you can make sure that you add the exhale on the effort part. So let the exhale kind of help you with the hardest part of the movement. And time. Nicely done. Set your weights down. We're going to bring the feet down to the ground and step them in a little closer. So heels a little closer to the butt. We're going to take it into a hip bridge. So knees and hips are lined up, hands down at your sides. We're going to lift the hips up nice and high. At the top, you're going to open the knees out, draw them in with control, and lower back down. So lift up, squeeze the glutes, open the knees out, draw them back in with control, and lower down nice and slow. We got 1 minute on the clock. We want to feel that squeeze on the lift, work the abductors as we draw those knees out, and then lower it down. Awesome. You guys got this. Yes, Trish, that's perfect. Nice work. Nice, Judy. We got 12 seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, from here, we're going to take that TheraBand off the leg. So just keep it tied if you can. We're going to just roll it off the thighs and then come up into a seated position. Now, we're going to take that TheraBand and we're going to catch hold of one foot. So you want to put that foot in your little loop. And then you're going to take hold of two ends of that band so that you can keep a nice firm grab. You're going to keep your elbows nice and firm, hugging in at your ribs. And if you can, create a little bit of space where your knee can come through that loop. So we're going to pull the knee up to the chest and then find the work in your quads. Find the work in the top of the thigh to push the heel forward. Pull it in with control and press it out. Elbows are going to stay hugging in at the ribs. You're going to keep a nice tall posture. And then we're just going to try and find that work coming out of the top of the thigh. So think about pushing the heel forward or pushing the thigh into the TheraBand. Nice. So we're keeping a tall spine, pulling in, pressing out. Arms stay stationary. You got this. You're already halfway there. 10 seconds left on this side. And time. Nicely done. Okay, step that foot out of your band. Give it a little shake. Take a second to notice. You might feel like a little bit of little plumper and juicier in one thigh over the other. Now we're going to take that theraband, take it over to the other foot. We're going to choke up on that theraband so we have a nice firm hold. Elbows are going to hug in at the ribs. Create a little bit of space for your knee to come in and out. We pull the knee towards the chest and push the heel forward. We're going to try to find the work coming out of the top of the thigh. So think about pressing your thigh down to your heel to move that theraband out and then move it back in with control. Even if it feels like as you pull it back in, like you're moving that thigh through like thick molasses or something. So it's really coming in nice and slow. But can you find that work in the top of your thigh? Yes. Nice, Ting. Awesome. We got 20 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Take that theraband off. Give your knees a little soft bounce. Shake it out. Set your theraband off to the side. We're going to stick with this seated position here. And now we're going to work into the hip flexors. So we're going to alternate picking up the leg and lowering it with control. We're going to try to keep and maintain a nice tall spine. So no shifting out of the upper body. We're going to anchor into our sits bones, lift one leg and then the other. Don't worry too much about getting a super amount of height, but you really want to see if you can feel the work coming right out of the hip flexor. So if you like, bring your hands right to those hip creases. As you lift one leg and then the other, you're going to feel that work going on in there. Beautiful. Now, if you need to, maintain a little bend in the knee so it's not yanking against the hamstrings, but we're going to still keep all of the work coming out of the hip flexors. Yes. Three seconds left. You got this. And time. Nicely done. Woo! Shake those hips out. Okay, we're going to swing those legs around. Find your tabletop position first. Option for weights or no weights. That's going to be totally up to you, but we're going to take it into a down dog position. Right leg is going to step out nice and wide. And then if you like, weights or no weights, you're going to reach the right hand up. So right foot is forward, right hand reaches up. You step back to a down dog and then switch sides. Left foot's going to step forward. Maybe you grab the weight or leave it weight free, but you reach that left hand up, set it down, and step it back to down dog. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to do this at your pace. If you're adding the weight, you're going to just make sure that you keep a nice stable base. Lift that arm straight up and lower it with control. Nice, Helen. Awesome. Beautiful, Judy. That looks so good. Ten seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome. Take it to a down dog position. We're going to walk our hands towards our feet or walk your feet towards your hands so that you come into a little bit of a forward fold position. Take a second here to bend your knees a lot. Let your head drop down. Catch your elbows and give a moment here to just take a nice deep breath. From here, relax your fingers to the ground, bend your knees a lot, pull your belly button in, roll on up to standing. Take a couple of big shrugs of the shoulders in one direction. Take a couple of big shrugs of the shoulders in the other direction. Nice. Take a couple of nice swings in and out with your arms. And then we're going to take the left arm across the body. Think about dropping the shoulder down away from your ear. And then take a couple of gentle nods of the head up and down. Awesome. And then head comes to neutral, release, and over to the other side. We bring that arm across. We drop the shoulder down and then nod the head up and down. Awesome. Release. And now we're going to grab our theraband. We're going to take it behind the back. So if it's still tied up, that's okay. You can either just hold on to that loop. It's going to create a little space, or you can slip your hands into the loop and then hold on from there. So you're just going to take it behind the back and then find a little bit of freedom to move away from the back side of the body. Once you feel like you've got a nice distance, we're going to bend the knees a lot, hinge from your waist, fold over, and then start to let your arms fall away from the back side of your body. Just let them hang nice and heavy. Let your head hang nice and heavy. And then only if it feels good, straighten your legs. But if it feels better to keep them bent, keep them bent. All right, let your hands come towards your low back, bend your knees, lift up from the top of your head, come up nice and slow. And now we're just gonna take that theraband across the front side of the body, bring it up and overhead so we get a little bit of a tight pull, and then take a couple of big side bends here, just to bring some space back into the side and open up those ribs a little bit. Nice. Beautiful. Take one more side to side. And then come back to center, lower your arms down, woo, shake everything out. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. But if you've got to get on with the rest of your day, I do hope that it's awesome.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Have an awesome day.
You too. Bye, Chris.
Bye, Christine. All right. Bye, Ting. I'll see ya. Okay, so make sure that your stuff's out of the way. Move your weights, move your gear. And then grab your foam roller. We'll start in a standing position. And we're just going to take some swings to the hip. So hold that theraband, hold that foam roller sideways, and just swing hip to hip. And every time I say hip to hip, I think of that B-52 song. I don't remember what the name of the song is, but they go, take it hip to hip, rock it through the wilderness. See, you guys don't need music on. I could just sing for you. Take one more swing side to side, and then take it into a little hay bale or stand one side. Take it to the hip and throw it over your shoulder, and let that back foot pivot with you just a little bit as you throw it over. Nice. One more time on this side. And then we're going to swing it to the hip, over to the other hip, and then take it back into those hay balers, but on the other side. So we take it to the hip, throw it over the shoulder, and let your back foot pivot with you. Beautiful. Nice. One more time here. And then we're going to take it to the center, and we're going to start a little pendulum swing, side to side, just moving a little out of the shoulders. I catch a little momentum. And now in one direction, we're going to swing around 3 or 5 times, just depending on how fast you're going. Beautiful. And then come back to that little pendulum swing. Nice. And now we're going to catch some momentum, swing around, stay in this direction. Moving mostly out of the shoulders. You'll find a little bit of rotation in the torso, but hips and feet should be steady and sturdy on the ground. Beautiful. One more time around. Nice. And then we're going to take a nice big breath, reach the arms up, take a gentle back bend. So think about lifting the chest and looking up, and then folding all the way down. So a little bend in the knees, a little hinge at your waist. Bring that roller down to the ground, keep it on the ground, and we're gonna start to just steamroll the tops of the feet. So put a little press in the roller, press up and down the tops of the feet, walk it up to your ankles and back down to your toes. Take a nice couple of rolls here. Beautiful. One more roll up and down, and then we're gonna leave the roller on the ground. Bend your knees a little bit, pull your belly in, come up to standing, step your right foot onto the roller, and we're just gonna do a gentle roll from heel to toe. So you don't have to put a lot of pressure on the roller or on your foot. Just softly roll the bottom of the foot and start to feel the texture of your roller underneath your foot. So see if you can just pay attention to that sensation for a second. Cool. Now we're going to keep the toes on the roller and the ball of the foot on the roller, and then see if you can press your heel down towards the floor. So it's going to bring a big stretch to the Achilles heel and the calf. You'll only press your heel down as far as feels good. And then once you've found a stretch in the back of that calf, take a nice big breath. Awesome. Now we're going to lift that foot up, and then we're going to switch. So the heel is going to stay on the roller. Toes and the ball of the foot are going to come down to the ground like you're making that really big Barbie foot. So we really want to find a gentle stretch through the front of the ankle. Once you feel like you can notice the front of your ankle, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And now step that foot back on and a nice light roll from heel to toe. Beautiful. And then step that foot off. Other foot's going to step on. And we're just going to gentle roll heel to toe. Cool. And then when you're ready, keep the toes and the ball of the foot on the roller. Press your heel down. Find that stretch in the Achilles heel. And then once you can feel it in your calf, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Lift it up, and we're going to switch. So the heel is going to stay on the roller. Toes and the ball of the foot are going to press down into the ground. So we're making that Barbie foot. If you can feel the sensation in the front of your ankle, pause there, see where you can soften, and then just take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then lift up, place that foot back on the roller, give a nice, good, soft roll, toe to heel. Beautiful. And then step that foot down. We're going to keep our feet about hip width distance apart. Take a nice big breath, reach up and overhead, a soft bend in the knees, a hinge from your waist. We're going to fold all the way down. So let your hands touch the roller. And then we're going to take 3 bends and straightens of the legs. So really drop your butt down and then lift your butt up. So as your butt lifts up, your head is going to drop down. So we take it into a gentle forward fold, bend the knees a lot, lift the tush up, head drops down. Let's do 2 more just like that. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to step it down into a tabletop position. So adjust your roller as needed, and then bring those knees down to the ground. We're going to come right away to a roll of the palms. So from the wrist to the fingertips, you can set your weight back into your heels just a little bit, but we want to make sure that we're keeping the belly firm, the low back is supported, and we're not just sticking the tush up and dropping into our low back, right? So we want to keep everything nice and active, nice and firm. Take one more roll of the palms here, and then we're going to flip over. So the backs of the hands are on the roller, and we're going to stick with just that range of motion, fingertips to the wrist. So we're just working through the backs of the hands. You might not get as much pressure here, but just allow a nice soft roll. Nice. Take one more roll in and out. And then we're going to bring it back in, flip the palms, walk it out to a puppy pose or to heart melting pose. So now you're going to bring your hips a little bit more in line with your knees. Walk the roller out nice and long, and then let the chest and the forehead drop down. So we get a nice big stretch, hopefully maybe in the lats, the chest, the armpit chest, just depending on where you might hold tension. And then just an option here if you feel like it's a little too tight, you can always walk your arms out a little bit wider, make some space, and then let your head drop down again. One more breath here. And then we're going to walk it in just a little bit. And then we're going to take it into thread the needle. So the left hand is going to stay on the roller. Right hand is going to thread through and underneath. So it's a little bit of a twisting motion. As you thread through, that left arm is going to reach forward. You're going to turn your head to the left. So your right ear, right shoulder are reaching towards the ground. Take a nice big breath here. And then when you're ready, press into the roller, lift yourself back up and in, and we're going to switch sides. So the right hand's coming onto the roller, left hand is threading through and underneath. The roller rolls out long. Left ear, left shoulder are reaching towards the ground. And take a nice big breath here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, unwind, bring it all back in. We're going to walk that roller in. Take your left hand on top of the right. Take a nice pressing roll to the right hand. So palm is facing down. We put a little bit of a press on top of the hand. Take one more roll up and down, and then we're going to switch sides. Left hand on the roller, right hand stacks on top of that hand, and we press into the hand as we roll the palm. Beautiful. One more roll in and out here, and now we're going to switch. Flip the palm, palm facing up. Left hand stacks on top of that right. We put a light press, and then roll from the back of the hand just slightly past the wrist. Nice. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Left hand's going to flip over, palm facing up. Right hand is going to stack on top of that. We put a light press, re-roll the back of the hand, and maybe go slightly past the wrist. Nice. One more roll in and out. And then we're going to flip the palms. So both palms are going to be facing up. I shouldn't have said flip the palms. I should separate the hands. So both hands are on the roller, palms facing up. And we're just going to take 3 good rolls out to the forearm, reaching towards the elbow. Beautiful. Bring it all the way back in. Flip the palms over. So now palms are facing down, and 3 rolls out in this direction. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring that roller all the way up and in so that we can set ourselves up so we can lay our thighs onto the roller. So position yourself so that the roller is off your bony hip points. It's on the thigh muscles. Toes are on the floor. Elbows and forearms are down on the ground. We're going to keep a slight firmness in the belly. So we're keeping the low back supported. And then we're just going to start to rock from crown of the head to the heels, keeping the toes on the ground, elbows on the ground, and let your elbows and your toes help support your movement. Nice. And now from here, we're going to see if we can lean a little bit to the right. So you might want to press into your left hand. So you find that outer right edge of that thigh. We want to stay on the thigh and stay off any bony landmark. So you don't want to be on the hip bone. Take one more roll up and down here. Come back to center. Give a good roll up and down. And then we'll take it over to the other side. So you're going to lean slightly to the left, press into your right hand so you can find that outer edge of that left thigh, and then roll up and down. Beautiful. One more roll up and down here, and then bring it back to center. Readjust your elbows. Give 1 or 2 good rolls up and down here, and then we'll reposition the roller. So either pick your hips up and move the roller manually with your hands, or just shimmy yourself forward. So now the roller's in the middle of the thighs, toes on the ground, elbows and forearms down, and we're rocking forward and back. Nice. And then come to the bottom of that roll. So you're really at the middle of your thighs. Bend your knees and then start to rock your heels a little bit side to side and just go as far as feels comfortable to you. Keep a firmness in your belly so we're not collapsing in the low back. Nice. Take one more rock side to side. We're going to keep the right leg bent, left toes are going to touch down to the ground. So you're going to anchor into that left foot, and then we're just going to draw some circles with the right foot in one direction. Draw some circles with the right foot, go the other way. Set that foot down, toes to the ground, switch sides, bend your left knee. Heel is hugging in towards the butt. We're going to circle that foot in one direction and circle your foot the other way. Beautiful. Relax that foot down to the ground. Reposition the roller if you need to. So now we're coming down closer to the bottom of the thigh, but we're staying off the knee joint. We don't want to be on any bony parts. And we're just going to rock and see if you can really drag now. Let the toes drag across the floor and see if you can roll the full length of the thigh. Right to the tops of the knees, all the way up to the tops of the hips. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Beautiful. One more time, up and down, just like that. And then when you rock all the way back, can you push yourself up into a tabletop position? We're going to slide the roller out to the right, place your right shin onto the roller, and then we're just taking a couple of rolls here. So we'll pull the knee to the elbow and press out. So for this, my leg is turned out slightly, and I'm finding the muscle that runs along the inside of the shin. Pulling the knee in towards the elbow and pressing it out. Beautiful. Take two more just like that. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that foot from the roller, slide it to the center, pop both knees on. And now hopefully here, you'll find the outer edges of the shins. So we want to see if we can find the muscle tissue that runs to the outside. So we're going to pull the knees in towards the chest and press the heels back. Pull the knees in and press the knees back. One more time, just like that. Awesome. And then step your knees off the roller, slide it over to the left. We're going to place the left shin onto the roller. Leg is turned out slightly. We find that muscle to the inside of the shin bone, pull the knee to the elbow, and press the heel out. And take a couple just like that. Nice. Take one more in and out. And then step that knee off the roller. We're just going to pick that roller up unceremoniously, set it down to the end of your mat, flip over so you're sitting on your butt, and then place your ankles and your calves right on that roller. Now from here, either make fists so you can press into your hands and lift your butt up, or if that doesn't feel good to your wrists right now, you're just going to do the roller walk, walking it in and out. But if it feels safe and comfortable to your hands and your wrists, you're going to lift your butt up and you're going to just roll the backs of the calves. See how soft. Can you keep the calf muscle tissue? Notice if you feel any knots or catchy points. Beautiful. One more roll in and out. And then set your butt down. We're going to move that roller in right under the thighs. And then again, we're going to lift the butt up and take a couple of good rolls to the back sides of the thighs. So either make fists so you support the wrists, or just move in a more gentle way, which might mean just leaving the roller under your thighs, a little swish side to side, and then walking it a little closer and swish side to side. So relieve your wrists of any pain. You can still find work in the backs of the thighs. All right, one more roll up and down here. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to find a way to sit our butt up onto the roller. So any way that feels good to you, you're going to pop your bum onto that roller. Make sure it's secure under your tush. You're going to feel your sits bones. Walk your feet out so there's a nice, good, generous bend in the knees. Catch hold of the sides of the roller or hands behind the roller, totally up to you. And we're just going to start to drop those knees side to side, a little windshield wiper action. Nice. And now we're going to add a little rock of the hip. So we're going to take a bigger rock and roll side to side, roll onto the hip, roll over to the other side, and roll onto that hip. Beautiful. The next time you roll over to the right, stay there. Take a couple of gentle rolls up and down, just staying up on the hip and up on the glute. So we're going to stay off of that IT band, that ribbony textured fascia that runs along the side of the thigh. We're going to stay off of that. All right, one more roll up and down here, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. Lean in, and then find that little roll up and down. Nice. One more roll up and down here. We're going to bring it back to center. Send your left leg nice and long. Bring your right leg across the left. So we're going to set up into a figure four position. Hands behind you. You're going to slide that left leg in and then sit up nice and tall. Maybe you'll hold on to the knee and the ankle. And then just think about getting a nice lifted chest and lean your chest towards your leg. Cool. And then lean back just a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of movement out of that right knee. So we're going to pull the knee towards the chest and push it away. Take a couple of movements just like that. Cool. And then keep the knee open and we're going to lean over into that hip. So we're going to keep with that figure four shape, lean over, and then start to find a good roll up and down. Might feel a little bit more intense here. So you might either have to slow your roll down or lighten up your pressure altogether. Nice. Take one more roll up and down here. And then we're going to come back to center, help lift that leg up and off. And then we're going to take that all to the other side. So right leg is going to extend long. Left leg comes over the right. Lean back, hands to the ground, slide that right leg in. Make all the adjustments that you need. Cool. Think about pressing the knee open, lift the heart, lean forward just a little bit. Nice. And then lighten that up. Take a couple of ins and outs with that knee, pulling it towards the chest, and then pressing it out. Beautiful. And then keep that knee open, lean over to the left, and either stay stationary and breathe or roll up and down if that feels like a nicer way to go. Nice. One more roll up and down here, just like that. And then when you're ready, bring it back to center. Help lift that leg off. Cool. And then we're going to hands to the roller, lift your butt up, set your butt down with control. We're going to keep that roller nice and tight towards the low back or against the tailbone, but we're going to lean over at an angle. So you're going to feel your low back just kind of leaning in and hugging against the roller. Lean your shoulders back just a second. Take a nice big breath. Great. And then from here, we're going to take it over to the other side. So we're just going to keep that roller hugged up against the low back. Find that nice squishy part of the low back. Lean in a little bit. Draw the shoulders back. And take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, bring it back to center. We're going to take that roller, flip it around, tuck it underneath your bent knees, lower yourself with control onto the ground, kick your hips up, lift your butt, and slide that roller out underneath your butt. So it's underneath your hip bones, it's underneath your tush, but it's not in your low back. We want to leave it off the low back because the low back doesn't have a lot of bones to help support your structure. Nice. Once you found your way there, you can either hold on to the edges of the roller or just let your hands rest wherever feels comfortable. We're going to lift the right knee into tabletop position, lift the left knee up to meet, keep a nice firmness in the belly, a little stability in the hips, and we're just going to alternate some toe taps here. And then as we alternate these toe taps here, we're going to notice, do the hips have a tendency to want to move or wiggle? How stable can you keep those hip bones? Take one more time each side or even yourself out. Nice. And then from here, we're going to send the heels upward towards the ceiling. Think about pulling the right leg towards you. Left leg is going to extend nice and long. And then we're going to switch. Left leg is going to come in, right leg's going to reach long and switch. We're going to keep a nice, strong, controlled switch. We're going to keep our hips as stable as we can on the roller. We're going to firm up the belly so the low back feels supported. Take one more time each side. Beautiful. And then as the legs come back together at the top, bend the knees, hug the thighs together, knees drop in towards the chest. And we're going to take a little gentle rock side to side. Nice. And then if you need to readjust the roller just so it feels like it's still secure underneath your hip bones, we're going to reach up, catch hold of the right knee, send the left leg nice and long. Let the heel touch the floor if it can. Hopefully, you'll find a stretch through the front of that left hip flexor. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slide that left leg in, switching grips. So hold on to the left knee, slide the right leg nice and long. Let the heel touch the floor if it can. And then again, hopefully here you're finding that stretch through the front of that right hip now. Take one more breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, slowly release everything. We're going to walk those feet in so we can lift the butt up, slide that roller out from underneath you, lower your hips down to the ground, and we're going to reposition the roller so that it can come underneath the shoulder blades. So we're going to tuck it up in under the shoulder blades. And then once you feel like you found your place there, hands behind the head, support the neck. We're going to inhale, lean back, and exhale, contract the belly muscles and lift up. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, come up. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, come up. Two more just like that. Awesome. And then we're going to lean back into a gentle back bend, and you're only going to go as far as feels good to you, something that you can control the coming up and out of. So find a back bend that feels nice. Keep supporting the head and the neck so you should be able to swallow comfortably. Take one more moment. And then with control, we're going to come up. We're going to keep the hands behind the head, press into the feet, lift the hips up away from the floor, and start that nice, good roll from the shoulder blades all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. One more roll up and down here. And then we're going to see if we can roll up to the tops of the shoulders. Hug your right elbow in towards your hip or in towards your side body. So it's going to bring a little bit of side bend, a little side squeeze. And now see if you can drop your right shoulder up onto the roller. So it means you got to pick up your left hip a little bit to really hike it up. So you can rest on top of that shoulder. Not a lot of movement here, but just a little bit of gravity helping you out. Let that shoulder, the top of the shoulder, rest on the roller. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then lift up, roll back to center. And then we're going to take that to the other side. Can you pull that left elbow towards the hip? Roll up on top of the shoulder. That means you're lifting your right hip up. So you can really lean up into the top of that shoulder. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then bring it back to center, realign yourself, and take a couple of more good rolls up and down just to soothe out those shoulders. Nice. One more roll up and down. And then we're going to set the butt down to the ground. Move that roller so it's underneath your head like a pillow. So we want to make sure that it's under the skull bone and off those little soft small neck bones, right? So we want to keep it underneath that nice supportive structure of that skull. And then once you feel like you've got it in a good position, just start a gentle nod of the head up and down. So a little tuck of the chin and a little lift of the chin. Nice. One more nod up and down here. And then let your head be in a sort of neutral position and start to rock the head side to side, just turning the head to the left and to the right. Beautiful. Now, the next time your head turns to the right, stay there and then find that lift of the chin up and down again. So it doesn't need to be a big movement, just gentle, being mindful, and you'll maybe notice like a little bit of movement or pull of the hair and a little bit of movement of the skin that rests all around your skull. So if you can feel and find that movement, that's cool. And then when you're ready, turn your head over to the left, stay there, and then rock the head up and down here. Nice. Take one more rock up and down, and then maybe take a couple more gentle rocks side to side just to soothe it all out. And then let your head rest at center. Either let your arms rest out at your sides or let them rest on your belly. Knees can collapse in towards each other so you don't have to do any efforting in the legs. Close your eyes for a minute and just take a couple of nice deep breaths here, in through the nose and out through the nose. As you breathe in through your nose, can you think about pulling the upper palate of your mouth nice and wide and spreading your nostrils nice and wide? So think about lifting up and out with the sinus cavity, lifting up and out with the upper palate of your mouth, and breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Two more nice deep breaths, just like that. Awesome. And then for good measure, gently lift your head up, move that roller out from underneath you. Let your head rest down for a moment. Take a couple of rocks side to side and just notice how your neck feels. Notice how your head feels. And then we're going to extend the legs long. Take a little roll up, reach your arms up and overhead. Take the roller with you. As you exhale, arms and head are going to lift up. We're going to curl up the head, neck, and chest. Reach past the toes and then come up to an upright position. Set your roller off to the side, swing your legs around so you can come back into a tabletop position for a moment. And we're just going to finish by massaging out the forehead and the third eye center. So big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. You're going to set your butt back to your heels. Walk the roller in. If, like me, you're wearing glasses, it might feel better to take the glasses off, set them off to the side somewhere safe. And then we're just going to let a softness in the elbows. So elbows are going to touch the ground. And we're going to find a place where the roller can rest right in the center of your eyebrows or right in the center of your forehead. You're going to find a nice, comfortable place first. And then once you feel like your head is resting in a good, comfortable position, take a moment, allow your head to get nice and heavy first. And then when you're ready, you're just going to start to turn your head gently side to side, just kind of smoothing out the eyebrows or smoothing out the forehead wherever your head landed on the roller. Nice. Take one more rock side to side. And then we're going to come to the middle and a gentle, so it's going to be super small. Think of a little micro movement, a gentle nod of the head up and down, but it's going to stay super small just so that you can feel that little pull of the connective tissue. So you should feel your skin staying connected to the roller. And you should feel a little bit of movement of that connective tissue. So you might feel the skin kind of smooshing around on your forehead, right? Take one more nod up and down. And now we're just going to reposition the roller. So if you're at your third eye center, move up a little higher on the forehead. Or if you're at the forehead, move a little bit lower to the third eye center. And then we're just going to take another gentle rock side to side just to smooth everything out. One more rock side to side. And then come back to center. Gently lift your head up and away from the roller. If you had your glasses off, put them back on. And now we're going to move that roller forward, lift the tush up, walk your knees in, curl your toes under. We're going to lift up into a semi-downward dog position, and then walk your feet up towards your hands. Taking it into that forward fold position, walk that roller to the tops of your feet. Give a little press. Press as you walk it back down to the toes. Walk and press it in, and then press it out. One more time, just like that. Nice. And then leave that roller down on the ground. Bend your knees a lot, round and roll all the way up to standing. Take a couple of little gentle shrugs of your shoulders. You guys are amazing. Happy Friday.